on the vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again.
Well, hello everybody and welcome back to The Top Vloggers. As always, I am your host, I am Randy Joe, hanging out with your lovely co-host, the lovely Cat. And we have got a great vlog for you today. We're headed to the museum. Yes, we're right here in the museum. We're going to take a look at the second floor. Now, it should be fun, it should be exciting, we should learn a lot. Let's get going.
Alright, so let's get going up these stairs. See what's on the second floor. It says stay tuned, new improvements coming. Oh, you seen these signs around? Well, yes I have seen these signs. The Wabash County Historical Museum will collect, preserve, document, and display artifacts which tell the history of life in Wabash County. Our mission is driven by a passion for education and presentation that will attract visitors having both casual and research interests. So, there you go. And this is really cool. Check this out. This is a super huge picture on the wall right here, talking all about football. Last Sunday game of the season, Alexandria Tigers versus Wabash, Carroll Street Park, Sunday, October 22nd. Admission was only 25 cents, rain or shine. You can see them playing up there. Yeah, super cool. Then you got this right here. It says Chester's team of the ages, Chester Township High School, Wabash County, Marion Regional Champions. There's the net and everything. Well, there you go. In 1966, in a 1966 game against Alexandria, Wabash was trailing 13-12. With 3 minutes left in the game, and Eric Risch kicked a 28-yard field goal for the win. There is the tee, the ball, and the shoe, and a picture of the man. They're all right there. And this is really neat. They got a place for the kids to dig around in the sand so they can kind of learn what archaeology is all about in the archaeology of Wabash. As you can see, we get the old brush here. Give it an old brushing. See what we can find underneath. Oh, check that out. There we go. There we go. That's what we're finding. We're getting somewhere. That is really cool. I bet children really do love that. I kind of loved it as an adult. I thought that was really cool. And like I said, they show you kind of some of the things that you would, that you would find. It says those items displayed here were found in the LaFontaine area by local prospectors. So there you go. Now, life on the canal during the 1820s and the 1830s, traveling through Wabash County was treacherous for sure. There were no paved roads or cars or buses. Early settlers used Indian trails as pathways from one place to another. As the population began to increase, conductory roads made of fallen trees created a wider, though bumpier path. But the waterways that were used by the Indians and the European traders became the future of travel through Wabash County. And as you can see, these guys right here laying down on these beds, they would have not been comfortable. They would have been bumping all around as they were going up and down. It would have been very, very uncomfortable. The Wabash and the Erie Canal opened in 1837, but the canal boats did not have motors. They were pulled by mules and horses, so if you can imagine that, ropes that measured 150 to about 250 feet long connected the animals to the boats. So it took 2 or 6 mules or horses to pull a packet or a passenger boat, and the animals had to be exchanged at stations because they would get every 10 miles along the route because they would get tired. Freight boats actually had their own stables on board and often used mules to pull the load. So you have a lot of that right here. Now the main boat that traveled the Wabash and Erie Canal were packet boats, freight boats, and liner boats or line boats. Packet boats were used for carrying passengers from one town to another. Passengers used gangway, a plank between the deck and the land to get off of the boat. Freight boats carried their mules on board, and line boats carry both passengers and freight. Line boats might have 3 cabins for the crew and passengers. The cabins were divided into several parts: stable, freight room, kitchen, passengers' quarters, crew's quarters, and 2 decks. And these are what some of these boats and things like that and mules may have looked like. The sign says right here, it says the deck was the approved place for gentlemen to smoke cigars, for old ladies to sit periodically in rocking chairs and watching the scenery flow by, and for the guitarist to strum romantically at twilight. Other reactions were singing, reading, and walking. As you can see here, some old artifacts and Bibles and things like that. A lot of this stuff would have been used around this time, right here in Wabash County. Check out this train display right here. Oh my geez. This is definitely something. You know me, I love trains. Every time I hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head and cry because I want to be on the train. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. Check that out. That is something. You got a school bus over here. You got cars. You got a barn. You got tractors. You got material. You got a church. You got everything. You got the Eagles Theater. You have everything. You got like a apartment complex right there. And check out these trains. They say Wabash on them. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. I'll zoom in for you. They say Wabash. That is so cool. I am really digging this train. That is for sure. This is really cool. They got a giant map on the floor. That's all the places you can see. La Fontaine. You got Mount Vernon, Somerset. There's a Missinawa Lake, Francis Slocum Cemetery, which we've been to that. The Missinawa Memorial Cemetery. Maybe that's something we can go to while we're here. Yeah, just all kinds of cool things. Yeah, just a big old map right here laying on the floor. That's so cool. You got North Manchester, Laketon, Rowan. We'll be in Rowan, I believe, sometime either this week or next week. Super cool. Well, this is definitely hands-on. You can see all the different switches you're allowed to pull and play and push and all of those things. Telephones connect people across the street and around the world. And during most of the 1900s, switchboard operators linked people in Wabash County to distant friends and relatives, communicated emergency situations, and even offer the time of day if needed. The General Telephone Company of Indiana paved the way towards the future of communications. GTCI began in 1932 as the Indiana Associated Telephone Company, and over the years became a leading innovator in communication technology. In 1960s, GTCI invested $1 million to expand its Wabash branch on Market Street. The city of Wabash switched to dial service in 1961 and lost its local operator system in 1983 when a switchover was made to computer-controlled call processing in Fort Wayne. The switchboard from the General Telephone Office in Wabash was donated to the Wabash County Historical Museum in 1983 after former switchboard operator Margaret Jo Winsel contacted the company and requested that this piece of communication history be preserved. So this is the one from the actual Wabash, and as you can see, all the different places where she would plug in to get everybody hooked up. There's some photos on top. And this over here tells you more about the railway system as it came through Wabash. They're like the canal system. The decline of intrabrains were also related to the steam railroad, and that was the next step. Let's see if we can. Is it going to work for us? Nope, not going to work for us. Well, that's okay. But this is the other section that, like I said, that talks about the railroads, and as you can see, the other railroad artifacts and things like that. The Iron Horse, the Golden Age, and derailing the railroad. So right here, and then passengers and products. Right here, you can still hear the whistle of trains as you drift off to sleep in Wabash County, but today they carry products instead of passengers. The early railroad made travel accessible to almost everyone as tracks crisscrossed the nation. Farms and other businesses in Wabash County depended on the railroad to ship and receive goods and conduct business in distant areas. However, trains also brought faraway family members together and separated others as soldiers headed off to war more rapidly by rail. farm operations still depend on the railroads to deliver fertilizer and ship much of the grain produced in Wabash County. But today, trains through the county also carry chemicals, automobiles, and industrial waste instead of people. The shortest and only direct line to St. Louis. Hannibal, Quincy, St. Joseph, Fort Leavenworth, Kansas City, Jefferson City, Council Bluffs, Omaha City, Cherry Creek, Pikes Peak, and the gold regions of Kansas and Nebraska. Well, that's kind of cool. And this section right here just kind of tells you more about the gateway to the world. Railroad depots were once bustling centers for communities' activities, serving as regional hubs of transportation and communication. For the railroad, communication was key to efficiently moving passengers and freight back and forth. Local residents also relied on the railroad stations for mail services and sending or receiving telegrams as well. So you have all of those different things. And then this would have been like their mailbox where they would have got their mail and things like that. Check out this old map. That is an old map of Indiana, let me tell you. We get to use this embosser to make a souvenir bookmark from our visit here to Wabash. So let's see what we can do. See how well this works. Press it down, and hey, yeah, this is Wabash County Historical Museum. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's very faint, but yeah, it's there, and it's imprinted, it's embossed. It's just totally cool. And then they have a play area right over here for the children to play in. As you can see, they have lots of different things that you can play on for all the different kids. The kids, and then they got this cool little round hut here too. So lots of toys for the kids to play with and everything. So they're very educational. Right here at the Wabash County Historical Museum. As you can see, this is made out of all little pieces of plastic. And then they have all the sponsors and things like that who have helped. That's really cool. I like that. They even have restrooms right here on the second floor if you need them as well. Check this out. Cool little old medicine cabinet with all these old different medicines and things like that in them, and medicine little caplets and things like that. Whooping cough. All persons are forbidden to enter or leave these premises without special permit from the health office of having jurisdiction, and all persons are forbidden to remove or multite this card or any multite or any way to interfere with the quarantine without orders from said health officer. Okay, well, here we go. We're going to take a gander into this section, see what we can get into. There's some cool uniforms and stuff like that. You see different types of money and things like that up there. Military payments that were given and patches and things like that. You guys know I love my patches. I have all patches all over my backpack that I carry with me everywhere I go. And so right here they're getting into the tropical jungle and the arid desert conflict. Memorial Hall, and all of these different things. Preserving Wabash County heritage over the years, Memorial Hall has been held as a special place in the hearts and minds of local residents and has always been an important part of Wabash County community. Civil War veteran Captain B.F. Williams led a drive to erect a memorial to Wabash County's Civil War veterans. Memorial Hall was dedicated in 1899. The official name was the James H. Emmett Post Number 6 of the Grand Army of the Republic. Emmett was the first Wabash County man killed in the Civil War. He died at the Battle of Rich Mountain, Virginia, in July 11th of 1861. The building served as the meeting place for the Grand Army of the Republic and the Wabash County Veterans Association. Over time, veterans of the Civil War grew old and eventually passed on, but Memorial Hall continued to serve their memory as the site of the Wabash County Historical Museum. Exhibits dedicated to the history of the Wabash County and the many area veterans who served the county during wartime included uniforms, medals, and objects brought home by soldiers. As a number of variety of the objects represented throughout, as we see, the history of Wabash County grew, and Memorial Hall became a repository for the Wabash County store. The Wabash County citizens who began collecting historical elements of our past had a vision that would allow local residents to view and learn about their own heritage. Today, the Wabash County Historical Museum makes that purpose known, and the commemorative exhibit embodies that spirit of the original Memorial Hall and features many of the same objects that are on display. So as we can go ahead and we can take a look, that is something right there, all the way down. There we go. War of 1812. The War of 1812 was fought between the United States and Great Britain over trade restrictions imposed on the United States because of Britain's ongoing war with France. So, as you can see here, some of the things that would have been used during that time as well. Then we're going to cross right over here and we're going to look at some of these items. Wow, they are beautiful. This is during the Mexican, all these items right here from the Mexican-American War, which is from 1846 to 1848. So it only lasted about 2 years, but definitely had a lot of people die, and war is never good. As we're going to move on, here's the United States Civil War, which took place from 1861 to 1865. So it lasted longer, that's for sure. But here are definitely some of the items and memorabilia that has been left behind to see. And boy, there are some really cool things here. I love that pin right there. I love that pin with the metal. Oh, that is beautiful. There are so many cool things here. Like I said, I hope you guys really appreciate these vlogs. We do them every day for you guys. Not just for us, but for you guys too. This is the Spanish-American War, 1898. So this would have been all of the things that was used during the Spanish-American War. As you can see, we can take a closer look at some of these things, and you can see the pins or medals down there that they would have had. A lot of cool ones down there too. And we're just gonna pop right over here. This talks about the Wabash County in World War II. from 1941 to 45, and Wabash County in World War I from 1914 to 1918. It just tells you a little bit about that right here. But definitely some cool artifacts. As you can see, all the different cool things that they would have had. There's some of their silverware down there, right there at the bottom. Check out all these cool things. Love that jacket too. That jacket's really cool. And then, of course, Wabash County residents have experienced the national upheaval of wars throughout the American history, from the loss of lives to the political division. Preserving trade and protecting human rights is a common thread of war. Alliances and goals shift to reflect the global economy and contemporary social ideas, but the defense of a nation's interest has characterized war in the United States since the American Revolution. And it's sad. The war is sad. So many people have fought in war, and so many people have died in war. And despite these common threads, the nature of war itself may be changing along with society. September 11th, 2001, the subsequent war on terror is redefining the significance of promoting war and the way things are going. And national security no longer refers to enemies overseas and across borders, but the protection of American soil and the protection of the catalytic loss of human life that we have right here. And just so we can take a close look at some of these patches and things like that, and little Pall Malls down there. And that's super pretty. I love that. And of course over here you have some of the musical instruments and things like that would have been used in the Army and in the Navy and things like that, and to promote the the benefit and the health of the soldiers, and to keep them in line, steps and things like that. There's so many uses for the musical arts, and it's sad to see that a lot of the musical arts and the artistic things like that, at least seem to be going away, and that is definitely sad for sure. As you can see, we're going to take a look at some handguns up here. These are all the Colts of Alonzo Crewell. Alonzo Crewell has apparently a large collection. We're going to look down here. See the tools that were used to make them work, and taking them apart and cleaning them, and I like this one right here. Check out all those old canes. Not sure if you can see them all in there. There's a bunch of old canes, like walking canes and things like that. Right now we're in the Charles R. Showalter Gallery, looking at all of these beautiful pieces of art. Charles F. Brush, the inventor who lit up Wabash. There's Charles Brush's laboratory, located in the basement of his Cleveland home, his Cleveland, Ohio mansion, late 1800s. And over here they have things where you can make an electrical circuit, and then it leads you right into the small little gift shop right here. So if you need anything from the gift shop, this would be the place to get it. Would be right here. Just get a little bit of hair in the gift shop, and then you'll be on your way. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this vlog. I had a tremendous time. I learned a lot, and I hope you guys did too.
You can join us on all of our social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Top Vloggers. Also, if you'd like to help us reach the top, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/thetopvloggers. Without your help and support, these vlogs would be almost impossible to do. There will be a link in the description below.
If you are new here, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, take it one step further, and ring the notification bell. That'll keep you up to date on all the future adventures that will be going on during this channel. And another thing is, we will be coming out with t-shirts, hopefully within the next couple of weeks as well. So stay tuned and look forward to that. Is there anything else you wanted to say, my dear?
No.
How did you enjoy the museum?
It was a good museum.
It sure was. And I think that's going to do it for us here today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Top Vloggers, out.